imagine playing that year.
But Peyton with, like, Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, and Dallas Clark, that was just a really filthy Peyton Manning team.
Joseph Adai. Just loaded on offense.
Jeff Saturday.
Great lineman. Jeff Saturday, yeah.
But no, his year with the Broncos, when he had Julius Thomas at tight end, Welker, Eric Decker,
Sanders.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders. Really.
Wait, they had Sanders, Welker, Decker, and Thomas at the same time? Hold on, that's a fact?
Yes.
No fucking wonder, dude. I could turn to those guys.
Right, because that was like the year after, or the second year after Welker left the Patriots.
Wait, Demarius? No. He had Demarius.
Yeah, because you think about it, Tim Tebow had Demarius Thomas.
Hold on.
He had to.
Hold on. Wait a minute. We had Welker, Demarius, Emmanuel Sanders,
and Julius Thomas, who was a great tight end at the time. Because on Madden, he couldn't be stopped.
Decker, Welker, Emmanuel Sanders, Demarius Thomas, and Julius Thomas?
Yeah.
Those 4 wideouts. Those are Pro Bowl wideouts. All of them. I'd have to see that roster to believe it. I know that they all played for Denver at one time.
Because the first game of the season against the Ravens, he threw 7 touchdowns. I was at WVU at the time at the Rusted Musket, and yeah, I just saw him putting on a clinic, and I was like, what even is this? That was his first year with the Broncos, if I remember right.
The only way that's possible that happened is Demarius must not have blown up yet. Demarius must have still been low-key. Emmanuel Sanders' stock must have been down from leaving Pittsburgh at the time, which was blasphemy, obviously, the unit. Decker was always underrated, but I feel like then he was much better than like modern day or recently. And then Welker wasn't super over the hill yet. He still had it.
Yeah, because like I said, he was just coming off his tenure with the Patriots.
I mean, that's impossible to match up with. Like, I don't know how the Seattle did it to him like they did.
They just made them all look really weak. And like...
They look scared.
Yeah, because the Legion of Boom just hit really hard and played solid defense and was really fast.
Seattle just big-dicked them everywhere. They're not used to that. They're used to getting soft cover 2, cover 3.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's like, we don't do that shit, bro. We bring the crib and we play man all the way across the board. And we'll see. And that's the thing where, like, if your QB's not used to, like, if your QB's not Tom Brady and he's not used to throwing it on the third step back every time, you're not beating Seattle. Because they're just going to rush you. You're going to make a mistake, throw a pick 6. Like, Seattle at their prime in that run, that might be the best D I've ever seen in football, period. College, NFL.
They couldn't be stopped, man.
I mean, Baltimore, I'm sure there's a Baltimore team that comes to mind.
A one
that had when they won the Super Bowl.
With Trent Dilfer at quarterback.
No, the most recent one
with Ray the most recent time against the 49ers?
Yeah. Their D was amazing that year, too. I know in the Super Bowl they gave up some points, but
I think
that's the only D that I would put up against the Legion of Boom is probably one of the 2000s Ravens defenses.
Of all time, yeah, probably. People probably like talk about the Bears.
No, just recent. There's other D's.
Oh, okay.
Old school Vikings, our old D, our 70s, 1970s D.
The Bears back in the 80s.
The Bears in the 80s. Yeah, there's defenses from every decade that probably could challenge Seattle. Obviously, Ravens in the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
See, I don't know Dallas. I don't think Dallas had that good of a defense. I don't think Dallas had that good a D in the 90s, even though they were winning chips. San Francisco had a good D when they were winning chips in the 80s. Ronnie Lott, Deion Sanders. Imagine having Ronnie Lott and Deion Sanders on the same defense.
Not realistic.
That's not fair. That in and of itself, like, That's like Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, but on even more steroids. It really is. It's like if Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman played. It's like if Dion was both of them, I guess.
Let's
and then Ronnie Lott's Cam Chancellor's dad.
Let's go to NBA. Just because we got off topic with the Peyton and Brady thing. So the Raptors.
The NFL, bro. It's all relevant.
The Raptors. 1-6.
The Raptors won it.
But the thing is it going to be more remembered for the Warriors? Get that fucking bug off me! Jesus Christ! Sorry, I had a crazy bug on me.
No, I'm just going to stop you right there and say no. Over time, it's not going to be remembered as Golden State getting injured. It's going to be as Kawhi showing up as blessings to Toronto, Org, and the city.
See, I think the same thing, but at the same time, you cannot rule out that by Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson getting injured is the only reason the Raptors won it. They would have won that with KD in 5-6 at the most.
Yeah, but Klay played in the series. The injury happened in the series.
No, I agree. Injuries are a part of the game.
Else.
Injuries
and
are a part of the game.
The KD thing was accepted because KD had been out for another whole series. So it's not like anything. It's not anything shocking. Like, oh my God, Golden State got sucked.
So I think you could remember it. You could remember it for the season that the Raptors won their first, and we still knew that if the Warriors were completely healthy, they're winning against anyone in the finals 5-6 games max.
When Golden State won their first chip, bro, people talk about Love and Irving being out for like a week. And they're like, is Golden State the next dynasty? Like,
right.
Nobody gave a shit when Golden State was doing this to people, so why would anybody give a shit when it happens to them? Like, on a like legacy level, too. Like, it should take nothing away from Toronto's accomplishment.
Because
they beat the Golden State Warriors in the finals 4-2.
At the time, LeBron was, 2-3 whenever his first year with the Cavs started.
Back with the Cavs.
Yeah, so that would have put him 3-3 going in next year, and probably going 4-3, maybe 5-3. Who knows what he would have went.
It's just amazing that he's punished for going to more finals because his record's bad. But like, it would be better if he had just not made the finals and his record was better, right? Like it doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. And the thing is,
and it goes back to the Tom Brady argument too. When Tom Brady was 4-3 before he won his most recent two against Seattle and Atlanta. Wait, but he lost to Philly. Wait,
he lost.
Philly's the most recent one?
No, the Rams.
Wait, yeah, the Rams he won last year, lost to Philly year before, and then the years before was Atlanta, Seattle.
Yeah, Atlanta, Seattle. Yeah,
and he's right. 6-3.
Yeah, I think so.
So he was like, whatever. At one point, his record wasn't amazing in the Super Bowl, is my point. And nobody was like, wow, well, it's got to be Joe Montana, or it's got to be Terry Bradshaw, because, I mean, finals record, bro. I mean, get your finals record up, bro. Like, no. It was like, this guy won the AFC 7 times. He's a fucking unit.
And the thing is, you can't say that in football when you only play one side of the ball. When basketball, at least you play two sides, so it's not like you just come out and you play half the game. But the thing is, those rings are for the team. Like, it's not like LeBron went out there and played a game of one-on-one and he's 3-6 in the one-on-one NBA Finals. Like,
the best thing, it should be treated as an extremely amazing individual accomplishment just to make it to the finals of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and the thing is,
we hate on Cam Newton. Cam Newton won MVP, went to the Super Bowl at the end of the day. Like, Cam Newton's not worried about us. Like,
and that's just it. He shouldn't get criticized for going there and losing. It's like, you know, his MVP season doesn't mean less because of that.
It does get buried, bro. Like, people don't talk about that. Like, it's a classic example of, like, LeBron, the LeBron effect. Carolina. They went, they got smoked, nobody cares.
So, my thing is with the comparison that we're basically getting at is, look at the teams that LeBron has actually taken to the finals. And you know what? You can bring up your East is weak, whatever, as much as you want. But look at the teams that he's actually played with in the finals. The first ever Cleveland team that had Ilgauskas, Varejao, Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, Mo Williams, and there's probably a few others that just are...
Well, we all know he's playing with nobody, but look at the teams that are beating him. He's getting beat by world-class teams every time.
Because
what's the worst team that beat him in the finals? It's probably the Mavericks.
Oh yeah, it's undoubtedly the Mavericks. But the thing is, out of that,
so
it's Pop Spurs. It's this Pop Spurs again.
Pop Spurs again.
So he got beat by Pop Spurs twice, and then he's got beat by Golden State. How
twice.
Much? No, more than twice, because he lost the first time without K-Love, and then he lost to Durant twice.
Lost the last two.
So he's lost three to the world-class Warriors. And the year that he did beat them is when they went 73-9.
Because he lost to somebody else, or is it just Golden State?
No, the Mavs, Pop twice. There's your three. And then his three times against the Warriors, 3 and 6.
Pop, okay. 2, but yeah, I thought it was 3 Spurs for some reason too.
No, it's weren't thinking the Mavs.
The worst team is the Mavericks. The worst team is the Mavericks. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what team did Jordan beat in finals that's beating that Mavericks team?
The Karl Malone Jazz.
Can the Karl Malone Jazz take a couple games off those Dallas Mavericks? Maybe.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It would have been nice to see Karl Malone and Dirk go at it. But, I mean...
Karl can't run around with Dirk.
That's what I was going to say, is all Karl can do is
different
battle.
Games. That's the thing, it's different games.
Because Tyson Chandler is going to be on Karl Malone. Because he was playing with the Mavs at that time.
Bodying him.
Yeah.
There wasn't Tyson Chandlers back then.
And the thing
they
is...
didn't have Tyson Chandlers.
John Stockton is going against who? J.J. Barea?
J.J. Barea.
Or Jason Terry. I think I'll take John Stockton.
His life's mission to show up against John Stockton.
Yeah, I'll take John Stockton in that.
I'll never forget when J.J. Barea came down the lane in the playoffs against the Lakers, and the Lakers had already chalked the series, and Andrew Bynum deleted J.J. Barea's existence. It was the dirtiest foul I've ever seen in the league. Just stepped in and shouldered him.
So, I guess that's like, let's talk about the teams that he did beat. So, the first ever one was against the Lakers, and like what their last year, 2 years of being the quote-unquote Showtime without Byron Scott, James Worthy, and who was the other one?
Michael Cooper, Kareem.
Yeah. And
they were all done.
Don't forget that Magic Johnson had AIDS at that time.
Yeah, that's a very important thing to bring.
Yeah. So
and not only were they washed, that's important to bring up, but on top of that, like, if the Lakers would have won, Chicago shouldn't even be able to play in the league anymore. Like,
so
Jesus Christ.
So he beat the Sonics with an injured Gary Payton.
The glove.
And which
would have made the whole difference in the series, because he probably would have been able to at least limit Jordan.
Yeah, he wouldn't have contained him, but he would have not let him get 35. He would have let him get 25.
Yeah, the Sonics series was an absolute wash.
So, and then did they have Sean Kemp? Did they have Sean Kemp?
90s had to have, yeah. So Sean Kemp, fun player to watch. Not Tim Duncan.
Right, so, okay.
Not
Clyde the Glide Drexler's Trailblazers.
Portland Trailblazers.
That's the only person that I really know of that was worth a shit on that Trailblazers team. I'm sorry.
Jordan hit 6 threes in the first half, and Portland chalked the series.
Is that the shrug game?
Yeah. He hit the 6 3 in the first half, and Portland, they chalked the series. If he's hitting that, all she wrote, boys.
Right.
We've seen this shit before. We've seen this story before.
Okay.
And that Portland team's just getting smoked by teams today. I'm sorry. That Portland team's getting smoked today.
Oh, God, yeah. They're a bottom-tier playoff
They're getting smoked by all 4 of the top teams.
They're fighting with the Jazz for 8 seed. So, let's see. We've talked about the Sonics, the Trailblazers.
Charles Barkley's Phoenix Suns.
Oh, my God. Jesus.
who Jordan averaged like 37 against in the final.
Because who's guarding 37 against in the final? Because who's guarding him?
Not Charles.
Exactly.
The Phoenix Suns were guarding him.
Yeah, they just did the whole box and won. Okay. So...
That team is probably even less to write home about than the last couple.
Okay, so
there's
our fourth.
Barkley won the MVP that year. It was 1993, I think.
And did he back-to-back the Jazz? Is that what it was? Because there's our fourth.
That sounds right.
Okay, so who's good? Is John Stockton guarding Steve Kerr?
Lakers, Portland, Supersonics,
Trailblazers.
Wait, I said that. Portland, Supersonics, Lakers, Suns,
Jazz.
That's only 5. Isn't it?
Did he back-to-back the Jazz, though?
He definitely beat the Jazz twice, I know that.
Okay, well, if he beat the Jazz twice, there's your 6-0.
It's a Phoenix, Portland, Seattle, and LA. Okay. Yep, that's it. Sorry, I'm delusional.
You're good.
So it was like Lakers, Sonics, Suns, Portland Jazz.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, sounds like some pretty good teams covering.
Oh, great teams.
All right.
I mean, but who's the best? Well, obviously,
the Jazz.
Utah, never mind. It's both of them. Outside the Jazz, taking a best out of the rest of those 4 is really hard.
You got to say the Lakers, but they were injured.
It has to be the Lakers. Has to be the washed, injured, HIV-infected Lakers. Like, as crazy as that is, they stood the best chance. And then Jordan changed hands midair on a layup, and people acted like they just watched him fly. Or something like that.
Like on semi-pro. You just can't have people...
Dr. J never did that? Like...
You just can't have people flying through the air.
You're telling me Dr. J, who went under the backboard and to the other side and put reverse English on it with his right hand, never thought to do that? 100%. Like, he acted like he invented water when he did that, dude.
All right.
Like, that's what they gave it to him. Audience started pulled the Jordan, gave one to the LA Lakers.
So, AD went to the Lakers. They got. Did you see what the trade was?
They lost Ball, Hart,
Ingram.
multiple picks. Ingram.
Yeah, multiple picks.
Ball, Hart, Ingram, and multiple picks. That was it.
They kept Kuzma.
I know.
I personally wish they would have kept Ingram. My thing with Lonzo is, yeah, he can defend and he can rebound and get you probably like 6 assists. But other than that,
does he not just sound good with AD and LeBron? Does that not just sound good?
Yeah.
Or no, because he has to have the ball to be effective.
He does have to have the ball to be effective. It's one of those things, dude. Your shot doesn't go from like 25% to like 35%. Like I'm talking from
shooting that bad from the floor?
From 3.
Oh, from 3. Yeah. Well,
it may not even be 25%, but what I'm saying is like you don't just increase 10% over a year. Like you either can shoot or you can't.
25 is not serviceable.
No, you can't do that, especially if LeBron's going to have the ball and he's pick and rolling with AD. God, that's going to be a disgusting pick and roll.
Exactly. And LeBron needs guys that are getting space. If you're shooting 25% from 3, you're not getting space.
Yeah, that's not cutting it. And if you are getting space, that's disgusting that you're still shooting that. You should at least be shooting 35% from 3.
Yeah, sorry to see Lonzo go.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I think he averages like 10 or 11 points.
It's exciting, though, that LeBron might have something going forward.
It's interesting to see who else they may pick up, because they're going to get someone else.
They're still a player away. You could be as high on AD as you've ever been, and you'd still have to agree that they're a player away.
So I think with that is, AD I think has missed at least 7 games every single year he's been in the league. So the big question is going to be Yeah, at least 7 every single.
Well, that's nothing.
No, it's not. But the thing is, like, he's missed substantial amount of time here and there.
And he's kind of just a punk.
Dude, did you see that thing that was posted that talked about, like, his best 5 games from last year?
AD's best 5?
Yeah.
No.
I honestly don't know where it's at. I don't know if I favored it, liked it, whatever you want to call it. But there were...
All I remember... Oh, go ahead.
There were some games that were, like, 50 points, like 16 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks, 2 steals. And it's like...
Thank you.
How does this dude do this when he doesn't really shoot the 3-pointer?
All I remember is... I think it was the first year without Durant. We were fighting for the 8 seed with the Pelicans, and
AD hit that shot.
we were up 2, I think, and AD hit a 40-foot fadeaway contested for the win to put them in the playoffs.
I remember that.
It was the difference in them going up. We finished with the same record, and that shot was the difference.
Wow, I remember that.
And I think that same shit happened when Curry hit that, like, 2/3 court shot against us for the win. I'm pretty sure that knocked us down a seed at the end of the year for playoffs. That one shot.
But the
Thunder, if we had any luck, it's horrible luck, bro. Just trust me on that.
Yeah, I've seen it firsthand where KD's been injured, Russ has been injured.
KD got fouled at the end of game 1 against Miami Heat.
What?
In the first finals. KD got fouled at the end of game 1. At the end of game 2, we were up 1-0. KD got fouled at the end of game 2, but against the Heat, when we were down 1, he was going go-ahead bucket. No call. We go up 1. If he goes to the line, obviously, completely different game. We go up 2-0, y'all are winning that finals.
Yeah, I don't even remember that play. I know of the play, but
it was the whole series.
I don't remember seeing it.
It was the whole series. If we go up 2-0, we win. But we didn't, and we lost 4 straight.
Right.
Even though Westbrook dropped 43 one game.
So I think that you got to say that the Lakers are the favorite for next year because KD's not going to play at all. Clay may not play at all. He shouldn't. Because, like, what's the point in rushing an ACL injury, and what's the point of rushing an Achilles injury?
They're the favorite until you actually see him play, regardless of what they have on paper.
It's not like a shoulder thing.
I feel like you got to go to those East teams first. Got to be Toronto, and then whoever you like favor for like the top spot outside of Toronto in the East.
Depends on where Kawhi goes. You have to assume that he's going to stay with the Raptors, but it's.
I'd be mind blown and completely perplexed if he left.
Me too. That doesn't make sense.
I don't think he will either. He's just the kind of guy that's not going to come out like he doesn't care about the attention one way or the other. So it's not like it's not a game to him like it is to everybody else. So that's the whole thing. I think he'll stay because it's not like he doesn't care what people think.
Yeah, I mean, you just came out and you just won a finals, like first year going away.
Oh, and I said in the lead up to the playoffs, I was like, when Toronto, like before Toronto even started advancing, I was like, well, if just on the case of Kawhi, because everybody knew that was the whole talking point. He's on a 1-year loan to Toronto. I was like, well, Toronto goes to the finals. Who are you going to? Who are you going to that's better? Your top 2. If you're not Golden State, what are you doing?
And that's just it. Golden State's probably not even going to be able to play as their unit next year.
And yeah, he could go to LA, right? But really,
the only thing is the Bucks. Like, I feel like they're going to take a giant step forward with Giannis actually being able to play. I just think he's just progressed every single year, and I just don't. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Kawhi because Kawhi played on a completely different level, but he's not going to not be able to shoot a mid-range jumper. I don't think he's going to take a big...
Well, that's the thing. Isn't that crazy? Harden and Giannis were like the unanimous picks for everybody for MVP, and then Leonard just unequivocally proves that he's better than both of them in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
It's just weird. Like, all year, Harden and Giannis is all you heard.
So
playoff time, the only name you hear is Kawhi Leonard.
So, did you see the thing about Chris Paul and James Harden?
Well, which thing are we talking about here?
About how, like, he was supposedly unhappy and asking for a trade.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the thing that all of the people have touched on where Harden was mad that Chris Paul was making fun of his man baby.
That was actually tweeted out by the biggest troll.
Paul Harden news. Technically, that is the news.
Right, but like apparently Chris Paul was asking for a trade, and he's owed like $34 million next year.
Chris Paul, I've never been able to figure out Chris Paul's like motivation for doing what he does. Why did he play for the that long? Why did he go to the Clippers in the first place to begin? I guess because David Stern blocked the Laker move. People forget that.
Right.
Chris Paul was supposed to play with Kobe Bryant in Kobe Bryant's prime, and David Stern said, "Yeah, right."
Not happening.
He said, "Yeah, right." That's David Stern. Had to kill that guy before he'd let this Golden State shit happen.
Or you mean what was started by LeBron?
Yeah, it's just the LeBron shit seems so not. It's just not the same thing. You can act like Wade. You can be the biggest Wade homer in the world, and still you can't sell me on that being like a super team.
Right.
Not a super team, bro. They have Mike Miller and Shane Battier and Mario Chalmers and Joel Anthony playing major minutes.
And hey, don't forget Udonis Haslem.
Playing major minutes.
But yeah,
tell me that's a super team.
I don't think that it's true that he's asked for a trade, but I do think it's true that he's unhappy there. Chris Paul just seems like a guy that's difficult to play with.
Well, here's a good comparison too. Who's better, Chris Bosh at his best or Draymond?
I'm sorry?
Draymond or Chris Bosh at his best in Miami?
Oh, you'd rather have Draymond than Chris Bosh.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. And that's the other two. It's like Clay's better than Wade right now, I think, than Wade may have been in that moment. And Curry is definitely not better than LeBron, but like, and then they got more. And then they got Kevin Durant.
Let's not sleep on Chris Bosh, though. That dude was a player.
I'm not, but I'm comparing him to like the prototypical four in the league going forward for years right now.
Right. The thing with Chris Bosh is he developed a three-pointer. Like, that was one of the...
I underrated Bosh bad back in the day. I was a big Bosh hater.
It was just because he was overshadowed by Wade and LeBron, and he played for the Raptors before that.
It was because he was quote-unquote soft.
He just wasn't like a built dude that played the four. He was like a poor man. No, I don't want to say a poor man's Durant, but he was built like Durant. Like, just very long and lengthy with hardly any muscle on their bones.
Yeah, I don't know who Bosh. Nobody comes to mind when I think of Chris Bosh.
Just because he was just like this dude that could post up and turn away and like hit a fader in your eye.
Like a bigger Michael Redd? I don't know.
But no, he could play great defense.
I slandered Bosh back in the day because I was just like, why is he going to be on their team? Why did he get to be on that team?
He's a part of some of the biggest plays in Heat history.
Well, he saved LeBron's career.
He did. People don't talk about the rebound that he did over like three guys, and I believe
not just the rebound, but the godlike pass with people hanging off of him.
I believe Tim Duncan was out of the game at that point because it was something to do with like Kawhi shooting him.
He was.
And
otherwise, Tim would have drove Bosh into the stands.
Exactly, because Skip always talks about that.
You think that rebound is happening on Tim Duncan's watch? Are you fucking kidding me? Somebody's dying before Chris Bosh gets that rebound with Tim Duncan in the game.
And then I believe it was Tony Parker that went out to guard Ray Allen.
Bro, you're so right. Tim Duncan must have been fouled out. Because if he's not, Pop's a fucking idiot.
Right, and Pop's not making that mistake. You obviously have Tim Duncan in there.
He was on the floor. He had
No, he wasn't. I swear.
That is the most crucial play in the finals, and Tim Duncan was on the floor, bro. Are you fucking me? People forget his impact on those like Spurs Heat finals back and forth, bro. Tim was so good in those fucking finals. People say he's dog shit all year. He gets to the finals and he's OG prime Timmy again.
I'm looking up the shot right now. I'm looking right now. So far I see Tony Parker, Boris Diaw, Manu Ginobili, Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, because Leonard choked the free throw, or else the three wouldn't have even mattered.
Who's the fifth? It's not Tim Duncan.
If Leonard didn't choke the free throw.
If what?
If Leonard didn't choke the free throw on the other end, that Ray Allen three would have only cut it to one.
True. And the year after that, Kawhi played amazing.
He remembered that.
Yeah.
That's what's great. He would have probably won the Finals MVP that year, too, if they would have won it. Like, people don't realize how close he was to three Finals MVPs.
Yeah. That puts him in a very elite class.
In that series? Not for Finals
Tony
MVP
Parker.
But no, Boris Diaw.
Oh, he was playing great basketball, dude.
Boris Diaw is just the analytical god on the court, dude. Literally just downloaded the info.
He was a poor man's Draymond Green, dude.
He could not move, period. And he was playing at the highest level of the league.
He was a poor man's Draymond Green. He could pass as good as anyone. He could play good defense.
He was Draymond that couldn't move.
Yes, because he could shoot.
He was like nursing home Draymond, and he made it work. I'll never understand how Boris Diaw played those important minutes with his inability to move. I'll never understand it.
By the way,
like, he would get boards and not jump.
Just because he was a big ass dude that could move people out of the way.
He was just your classic garbage player, bro. The top level of garbage play.
The NBA draft happened and Zion got drafted first.
Really?
I'm ready for the Zion era, dude.
This guy at my work was saying to me, "What if Zion's a bust?" And I just tried to I know, and it was just, it wasn't like he was saying it like I'm a fucking idiot, like I think he's gonna be a bust. He was saying it like just in theory.
What if that actually happened?
And my brain shut off trying to consider that. Those variables. I was like, I've never seen anybody like Zion. Just considering the fact of him being a bust makes my brain hurt.
Because that would make me think like, wow, do I really know sports? Like everything.
It makes me reevaluate everything I know. If Zion's a bust, then I said that too in the argument. I said, well, if Zion's a bust, then I said, sign me up. I said, I don't know shit about sports then. If Zion's a bust, because I said the thing about bust is it's normally a football thing. When you go bust, and it's like
a first round quarterback.
The speed of the game, because the speed of the game in the NFL is so much faster. And that's the everybody gets off on doing well in college because they're really like skilled position players, at least because they're so fast. They get to the league, bro, and linebackers run their 40. Like, it's a different game. The NBA, bro, if you're just the way Zion moves on the court, dude, like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of thing. If he's a bust, if they don't get people to figure it out and put, like, the tools and the skills together to make it a bust player, I don't know.
There's no way that he can be a bust. It's a guy like Ja Morant that can be a bust. Like, dude that just has mad skill in college. Like, Zion just has way too much finesse and raw athletic ability to be a bust in the NBA.
Would you say that Andrew Wiggins is a bust?
He's not a bust. He just had too much hype.
I said the same thing, and that was my comparison because I was sure Andrew Wiggins wasn't a bust because I thought I saw him move on the court, and very few people move like that. Move with that finesse and athleticism.
He's a good player, but he just had the this is going to be the next guy comparison way too early. And when I saw him at Kansas,
but that's the same thing with Zion, right?
Well,
Zion's getting that same hype.
They were getting that in high school before college. Whenever Wiggins came to college, but listen to me. Wiggins, when he got to college, when I saw him, I was just like, I mean, he's going to be a good player, but he's not going to be like revolutionary. When you saw Zion, exactly. When you saw Zion, you were just like, dude, what even is this guy doing at the college level? He should be in the NBA right now.
All other 9 players, including his own teammates, have to react to what he's doing on the court, whereas Wiggins like fit in. Zion's just a unicorn, dude.
That's what I'm saying. Zion had the hype because at Duke, he just dominated every single game. Like, you always knew what Zion was doing.
The prime example is, like, you shouldn't have to go to college.
No, what did going to college do for him?
It was probably good for him, like, personally.
To face serious competition and face some somewhat adversity.
If you couldn't have played in the league last year, you're crazy.
Seeing a dude that's 280 and moves like that on the court is fucking insane.
He's fucking 280?
Yes.
I knew he was big. I didn't know he was that big.
He's like 6'6".
Well, because he doesn't look like, he's obviously thick as fuck, but he doesn't look like, you know, if you're 280, bro, like, you gotta see that somewhere. Like, he's just, I don't know.
What's his vertical's got to at least be 38 inches, right?
What is it?
Zion's vertical. His vertical's got to be.
What did you say you thought it was?
It's got to be at least 38 inches, right?
How tall is he? Like 6'7", 6'8"?
Hold on.
He's got to be at least 6'7". He's 280.
His vertical's 40 inches.
I was gonna say, I think it's probably 4. Bro, I've never seen anybody get up that high. Have you ever seen anybody get up as high as Zion? Maybe Dwight Howard when he did the dunk contest.
That was pretty remarkable. Zion is 6'7".
Get up that high?
6'7", 280, and has a 40-inch vertical.
That was made in a lab, dude.
Dude, he should
not even human.
This guy should be a fucking, like, imagine him at running back or linebacker.
It really is like a LeBron, right? Like LeBron, 6'8", 265.
That's probably just not as fast.
LeBron. That's what's crazy about LeBron, bro. 6'8", 260, and he can take one step and go like Steph Curry.
Yeah,
like,
you're
not going to see any more LeBrons, guys. No. There's no more LeBrons out there.
We're just wanting to see a guy that we wanted LeBron to be, in a sense. Like a dude that could just go up and do a 360 windmill with ease.
You almost just want to see a LeBron that's a gunner and not a playmaker, pass first, right play guy.
Yeah, you want to see
a LeBron that's got the KD mindset. Not the KD. You want to see a LeBron with the
KD
scoring pedigree of KD. You want to see a LeBron with the scoring pedigree of KD with the mindset of Steph Curry.
With the mindset of Steph Curry? What do you mean by that?
Every shot's a good shot. Every shot's a good shot. If I'm taking it.
You got to think that's more so KD than Steph Curry, right?
But KD's super efficient. KD doesn't take bad shots, ever.
And that's just it. He knows that. So it's like, I mean, whatever I shoot's good.
But that's not even what we want out of LeBron. We want LeBron to be so selfish to a degree. When we say bad shots.
When we say Steph Curry bad shot, we're talking about 40-footers. And that's only because he hits those.
He takes a lot of bad shots. If they go in, does not make it a good shot.
No.
I guess. And maybe I'm wrong. That's old school. That's like what people would say. Like, I used to say that in 2016 when they were 3-1. I was like, well, bro, I know you remember this specifically. I was like, well, bro, if they beat us, they beat us. But if you're going to sit there and tell me that's a good fucking shot, I'm not hearing it.
It's just...
It's like the shit that they would do.
It's not a good shot.
It.
It's just they happen to hit it more than anyone.
It makes my brain shut down. I can't think about basketball and Golden State and the way they play. And it's just so counter to everything anybody's taught about the game.
You don't shoot 35-footers.
You don't shoot bad shots. The classic phrase is, every shot Golden State takes, you can get that shot at any point in the shot clock. So why take it? Unless the shot clock's running down. Or you can get that shot at any, like in high school, there isn't a shot clock. You can get that shot whenever you want.
Right, just try to run a play that gets you set up to the basket to make it an easier, higher percentage shot.
But But then again, a lot of people would say that our high school plays like Golden State too. People would be bitching about us shooting threes for forever. I always thought we shot threes to like a realistic degree, like part of the game degree, but I don't know. People do say that we gimmick three the shit out of people.
I mean, threes are part of the game, boys.
And that's just it. Like, if we got beat and they hit 12 threes or whatever, 14 threes, all we got to be like, oh, God, fuck the 3-point line. This shit's a joke. No, we're going to be like, wow, our defense was garbage. Why didn't we close out any of their shooters all night?
People don't...
I just heard that. My boy Bob Carr always says that. Always says that. Sal, y'all just be shooting threes.
I hear you.
All y'all do, just be chucking threes. I mean, he's right, but it's like, God damn, y'all you play us twice a year. Like, there's got to be a way to game plan against that.
Right? Just run something that just limits perimeter shots. I mean, come on, it can't be that difficult.
Like a zone, if you run a 3-2 zone, like, that makes it much harder for the wing shooters to, like, get their timing down.
Yeah.
Or if you play good man, if you have good defensive players and can play good man, it's hard to get good looks at three.
What year is
but
it?
It's just weird because I'm a hater of Golden State when I'm supposedly like Golden State height. Like the way that we play is kind of Golden State-ish. Super up tempo, a lot of threes.
What year is it that they changed the 3-point line with Jordan?
To my knowledge, the 3-point line became a thing. I could be thinking of shot clock. They're both on the same thing. I want to say 1985.
So
like both.
They moved the 3-point line in when Jordan was in. I don't remember how much it was.
It used to be shorter?
Yeah. No. It was at a certain length, and then Jordan basically complained about it, and they moved it in like a couple feet, I think. And then he shot a higher percentage.
I was going to say, because I feel like when you watch mid-'80s, that shit looks like it's forever away. It looks like a 3 would be a horrible shot. But then, in the 90s, it doesn't. Like, it used to look like it would run where they had, like, the circle in the free throw line, and that's where the 3-point line meets. It used to look like the 3-point line went beyond that.
Which I would be okay with it being further away. Just because everything's a 3-point shootout now.
Has that even been considered since this Golden State shit? Like, moving it back?
It should be, dude. There's no finesse in basketball anymore. It's just, if you can shoot, you can go and play.
The only argument I've heard, which is the stupidest argument I've ever heard, is they should add a 4-point line.
I've heard of that.
I don't want to hear that. Please.
I've heard of that and widening the court to make it a true arch for the corner 3.
Yeah.
I just don't think that does anything.
4-point shot.
Yeah, you can't do a 4-point shot, dude.
You lose me when I hear that. When I hear 4-point shot, you've lost me. We're talking about gimmick basketball at that point. We're not talking about basketball.
Right, just keep what you got and just move the line. Like, move it back.
Imagine a 4-point shot. Do people understand what would change if there was a 4-point shot? Literally everything changes. Every game plan, strategy, timeout.
There's no point of even trying to play down low.
The whole game is, we're scrapping the game as it is if we add 4-point shots.
Yeah, just shoot 3s and 4s, dude, and you'll win.
Yeah, like, what's the purpose of having a tall guy that can score underneath? Where there's really not any more at this point, let alone if there was a 4-point shot. That's what's crazy. The big man dying.
It's because of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson.
They killed it.
But at the same time, Brook Lopez, for example, is like, I'll just have to adapt. I'll have to shoot 3s, dude.
And just what coaches allow their point guards to do, the Damian Lillards, the Russell Westbrooks, the John Walls, the Kyrie, what the coaches let the point guards do. Point guards didn't used to do that shit. Chris Paul, like, who everybody says is the prototypical old school point guard, like, people weren't doing those things, running the show on that level.
The weird thing about point guards is, you'd say this is the best that we've probably ever seen point guards as a collective unit. But at the same time,
by far,
Steph Curry is not winning Golden State titles. So outside of that, like, what point guard's really going out and winning any championships? Kyrie won it with LeBron.
LeBron is a point guard.
He is, but he's not. You know what I'm talking about.
He is in the sense of what we're talking about. We're talking about a position point guard. The guy.
No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about like Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, Kyrie Irving. That's what we're talking about. When you talk about on the court,
as big a Steph hater as I am, it's hard to say that Steph isn't helping Golden State win those finals. He's not the reason, but he is a reason. That's for fucking sure.
Okay, let's think of Steph Curry's legitimate finals. The one against Cleveland whenever Kyrie and Love was out. He had Dellavedova covering him.
And was low-key getting smoked by Dellavedova for a few games.
And Dellavedova got dehydrated because he drank like 10 cups of coffee.
Dellavedova got a contract out of like performing against Steph in that series.
Yes, he did. So let's see.
Good for him. He became like, bro, he was like Jeremy Lin. It was like the Lin. He was getting that kind of love. He was like an overnight sensation because he shut down Curry, and everybody's like, what's this corny ass white boy doing?
So let's think of his next one. Okay, Kevin Durant comes over and Kevin Durant goes off. I still think Steph didn't do a whole lot, but I mean I'm not saying he didn't help them win, but he is not the reason they won.
Yeah, everybody throws his stat line at me when I say he didn't do shit, but like you got to watch the games.
He doesn't.
Hypocritical is that for me to say because I didn't watch many NBA games this year, but if you watch the games of Golden State and Cleveland and you think Steph Curry's the reason Golden State won those finals, rewatch it and watch it again and then just let me know.
No, it's KD being able to daddy.
And well, the one without KD too, like when Iggy won the Finals MVP. Why do you think Iggy won the Finals MVP? Don't you think the NBA wanted to give that to Steph Curry?
Right.
They did. You gotta at least deserve it to a degree, bro. He just didn't deserve it on any level. If he would have been the other choice, it wasn't like there was more choices. The only other choice was Iggy, and Iggy doesn't even score, dude.
Right.
And the fact that that tells you all you need to know. Of course, KD won those other ones. The fact that Iggy won it and their true championship win without KD.
So
that tells you all you need to know.
So back to my point, what point guard is going out and winning the finals with how good point guards are and how much they're valued in this league today?
Get Russ the right situation.
I disagree. I'm a big Russ guy, dude. Come on.
Yeah, no, he's toxic. He's toxic as fuck, dude. It's annoying to come to that realization because he's such a player, dude.
I have been the biggest Russ supporter since like you started liking OKC, and I was like, I don't know, he just grew on me with how tenacious he is, and that's what everyone likes about him. But it's like, I'm sorry, but I'd rather have someone that's efficient than someone that's just known as being tenacious and relentless.
I'd rather win than be awe-inspired every night.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but if he's, like, he gets too much in his...
And that's where LeBron's gone, right? Like, LeBron doesn't go for the highlight rib dunks anymore. He's just trying to get W's, dude.
Exactly, like, that was great when I was in my 20s, but I am in my mid-30s.
He used to take off from the foul line. He doesn't care to do that anymore. He's trying to get wins.
Yeah.
Westbrook doesn't get that. Westbrook is a vet. He doesn't understand he's a vet.
Yeah, he's so fixated on...
He's a young kid trying to get respect. Like, he doesn't understand it.
And it's like you are still trying to get respect because you haven't won anything. Like, you did...
Westbrook's a weird character.
He is.
I don't think anybody can explain Westbrook except his therapist, maybe.
Because he's a crazy dude. Like, he's nuts. Like, if you say something to him, like, he's not afraid to, like, basically tell you to fuck off.
He's a phenomenal talent. He's like a once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent, but there's no way to channel it.
He's a brute. Like, he's like 6'4", probably what,
6'3", 205, 210.
And just solid muscle.
2% body fat.
And
yeah, he runs up sand dunes in San Diego or L.A. in the off-season. He runs up sand hills. That's why he can touch the top of the backboard and he's 6'3".
I just feel like he's too fixated on having this like Mamba mentality, killer instinct, where I gotta go.
And that's real though. That's not a gimmick. That's the thing. Imagine this guy working out. Imagine Westbrook going through a workout, dude. The guy's a nutcase.
No one is out working.
You don't want to work out with Westbrook.
And that's the one thing that I do love about him is it's like at least
that's the Jordan vibe. That's the Jordan Kobe vibe he has. Has that.
At least he's not like, you know, a lazy fuck like a Melo, for example, and going like 6 of 20.
Yes.
Like at least he's giving you something. Like this dude's making.
Ride and lose with Westbrook before Melo.
Yes. Because I know.
That's a good comparison. As sad as that is, that's how far Westbrook's fallen. But like, I will ride and lose with Westbrook.
Who's that more sad for though, Wes? Is that more sad for Melo, the dude that was supposed to be considered an all-time great, or more sad for Westbrook?
Wait, we're calling Melo an all-time great now.
No, I said a dude that was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a huge Melo hater. Even pre-OKC, everybody knows I was not. I've always hated on Melo. He's just so fucking lazy.
He is. He's just like.
I've never seen somebody lazier on the court.
Maybe me. You remember not this is a specific game, but you had to have seen the clip.
Maybe I'm Melo. Maybe that's why I hate it.
Chill for a second.
I'm literally Carmelo Anthony.
Chill for a second. You remember the clip of Melo like laying down on the court, and they go down and play.
Yes. He's still going on, and he's just laying there.
And then they come back and do like an offensive possession. He's still laying there.
If you were hurt, you would like roll off. You would like roll off.
Laying there.
This guy just lays there like the Undertaker.
Whew.
Oh, Melo, dude. Melo is a character, dude.
But no,
he's like he's really all of the negative things that Westbrook is, but with no positive reinforcement, period.
Right, like Westbrook not only gives you the hustle plays, but he's giving you 10 assists, and he's giving you 10 boards and probably 2 steals, and just some great hustle plays that don't show up.
Thing too, it's so hard to slander that guy when you see how hard he plays. Like, how do you sit there and say, well, he should have done this, he should have done that? He's trying. Like, he's fucking trying.
Like, he's giving it his all.
Like, it really is. Like, I've never seen, and that's the Jordan Kobe, I've never seen someone play harder than Westbrook. Westbrook plays harder. Westbrook has more energy than any human I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I've never seen.
It's not even wind. It's not even wind at that point. We're not talking about cardio or conditioning. He has more energy than any human alive.
He never really gets. I mean, he gets tired in the playoffs because he's playing like 45 minutes.
Have you ever seen him like bent down and just huffing?
No, because he doesn't.
He does not get tired. He does not get tired. Which is crazy because
he's on that Kevin Gates. I don't get tired.
And this is what I've realized, like, about my game as I've gotten older, is you don't realize on offense specifically, when you make a move, all the high energy movements you're doing to like shield, defend, and finesse and get to the hole. Everything Westbrook does is so high energy. There's nothing he does where he like old man veterans into the hole like a Tim Duncan. He doesn't. He uses like maximum energy on every fucking play and does not get tired. It's just crazy.
He doesn't give a play like 80 or 85%. It's always 110.
But that's like the huge thing with basketball. I realize, like, you gotta conserve your high energy movement. It's like an MMA thing too. I've heard like that's Connor's problem, right? Like Connor's high twitch fiber, everything. He gets gassed quicker because everything he does is more explosive than what everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
So you have to pick his spots even more. That's why I'll always gas that second Nate Diaz fight too, because he was dead, dude. He literally couldn't breathe. He was dead. He was waiting to be choked out or knocked out again, and then comes back from the dead with this energy that doesn't make sense, this wind that's not there. Because that is like his doom, Connor's doom too. Like if he KOs you in the first 2 rounds, like that's his strap. But if you get to the 3rd round with him, you're big chilling.
Facts.
Like people talk about that GSP fight. Yeah, that GSP fight might be entertaining and good for Conor in the first couple rounds, but you get to the third round, bro, you're in Fucksville for the rest of the fight.
So the thing I like about Diaz is, like, I feel like his first round's never really, like, something crazy. It's usually the latter part of the rounds whenever, like, I don't know, the other guy's getting tired, and then he just hits the second wind, and he's like, he always gives you, like, the let's go, motherfucker, like, I'm here to fight you. And that's all
See, I don't even see it like that with Nate. I don't even feel like it's second wind. Nate just has constant wind. It goes 24/7.
It's like he gets...
I mean, because to call it a second wind, you'd have to see him get tired first.
But I'm just comparing it in the sense of, like, he just gets reamped out of nowhere.
You know, what's weird about Nate is he'll take the biggest bomb of the fight and then come forward harder. Makes no sense.
He embraces it.
Like, he gets hit hard, and then he just loosens up and unloads. He's like, oh, we're in a fight. Oh, shit.
He's like, that's what I wanted you to do.
But, yeah, you were saying you saw that on the podcast with John Kavanaugh, where he wants the next fight for Conor to be the Nate fight, but it doesn't really make sense in terms of climbing the 155 ladder, you know what I mean? Because Nate's not fighting there anymore.
Do you think that Conor just doesn't care about climbing the ladder? He just cares about getting good fights and making money? Because
yes, but I also don't think Conor wants to go to 170 and fight Nate again either. Do you?
I wouldn't.
You would think, like, even if it's not an easy cut for Conor either, you want to bring Nate down there too. Like, you don't want Nate to be optimal. Like, 170 is no weight cut really for either of them. And that's dangerous for Nate, especially if he survived. Like, I'll never be able to explain to you how Conor won the 5-round fight against Nate, like how he survived. About his style would lead you to believe that he could win a 5-round fight against Nate. The only way you would think he could beat Nate is if he finished him early.
Correct.
And not that Nate's a pointer. Nate's definitely not a point guy. But, like, if you just think of it in your head, you would not imagine Conor has anything in round 4, round 5 from Nate Diaz at the pace that they both go at.
Conor's pace
I think it was lightning
really
in a bottle, dude. That won't work again. Conor's not winning another decision against Nate.
Conor constantly just pushes the fight whenever they're standing. Like, he doesn't do the, like, you know, the prototypical dance around.
Time then, though, dude.
Oh, it was
You'll
great
not
to
see
watch.
That Conor again. You won't see him again, bro.
He just came out and just started going from the start.
That second fight against Nate is what the sport's all about.
Just two guys in there brawling.
I put that up with, like, the Stephan Bonner, the Rory McDonald, Robbie Lawler.
It's hard not to put the Stephan Bonner and Forrest up there because that is, like, the first fight that, like, actually put UFC on the map.
Yeah, I don't think, if not for that fight, we're not even talking about UFC right now.
And like it really may not be the best fight ever, but it's the fact that these two guys were just bloodier and shit and just going in there and just still beating the shit out of each other.
It's just something you can see without having to hear it, right? You don't have to hear commentators explain to you, like, the heart necessary in that fight, or like the Conor Diaz. You don't need commentators. You can just watch that and feel that. Yeah. Robbie Rory, same thing. And I'll just the Conor Nate fight defies logic to me. The second one, it really does. The first one, when you go by, like, what they do and what they are, that makes perfect sense. That's what would happen. I have no idea how, and because I'm a huge Conor fan, but, like, from his perspective, like, he shouldn't have been able to win a decision 5-round fight against Nate. Specifically winning round 4 and competing for round 5. Like, he lost round 5 because he got taken down, but before that, he was fucking him up in round 5. And that's the only round 5 Conor's ever been to. So round 4 he's ever been to, too. Yeah, he's never gone the distance, bro. Every fight he ever has, he can't lose somebody in the first 2 rounds. Nate's the only guy that he doesn't. And then obviously the Khabib thing, but
right.
It's a different beast in and of itself. Khabib shouldn't be at that weight class, and Conor shouldn't be at that weight class if Khabib is at that weight class. That's how I'll put it.
Poirier said that he's going to end Khabib. We'll see about that.
This Poirier is a completely different guy than the guy Conor fucked up years ago.
Different, yeah. But the thing is, I'm really excited to see what Khabib is like after all this time off. Like, I don't know. He seems like the guy that's just not going to fall back at all. He's got something to prove. 27-0.
I don't know what the odds are, but you're not putting your money on Dustin Poirier.
No matter what the odds are, you're putting it on Khabib
I love safe. Dustin. I think Dustin's great. I think his striking's great. I think his grappling's much better than Conor's and gives him a better chance, like, to stay in the fight with Khabib and not be so one-sided. But to bet against Khabib in MMA right now, what would be stupider, betting against Khabib or betting against Jon Jones?
Betting against Khabib.
That's crazy.
Jon Jones ain't getting beat, dude. Jon Jones has not lost either.
No, you're saying betting against Jon Jones would be crazier then.
What did I say otherwise?
You said Khabib, yeah. I said, what would be crazier, betting against Khabib or betting against Jon Jones?
I'm sorry. In my mind, I was thinking betting that Khabib would lose.
Yeah, no, I thought that was crazy, too, because I'm like, I'm not betting against Khabib either, but if you're betting against Jon Jones, you need to be checking to a psych ward.
For whatever reason, in my mind, I was thinking whoever is more likely to lose.
Because who in your mind makes you worry as your job? Like, oh, they put DC up against him. That's a really tough matchup, right? That's the toughest matchup you can imagine in your head. Well, let me just rewatch it twice and see how that would go. Oh, Jon Jones nukes him.
Yeah, even with Gustafsson.
And it's not to say DC can't beat Jon Jones. It's not that he can't beat him. He just won't.
Yeah. He has the skill set to do it.
Put it that way. And the 3 times that they might fight, he's not going to beat him. If they fought 10 times, maybe DC beat him a couple times, because I'm not looking back. I'm not saying, but Jon Jones is a different talent, dude. Even than Khabib, like, Jon Jones is more complete than Khabib. He's as complete a fighter. He is, and you know, you're not going to want to hear this. He is the male Valentina Shevchenko, and Valentina's that good on the female side.
Let's wait on that.
Nobody her own weight can fuck with her.
Let's wait on that. That's saying a lot.
I will. Right. Comparing anybody to Jon Jones is heavy, but I'm telling you, and that's the thing, bro. I'm not huge. Like, I'm not this huge female MMA guy, but, like, bro, Valentina is top pound for pound, period. It doesn't even matter about, like, female male. She's one of the best fighters on the planet, period. And Nunes is, too. But when we're talking about, like, weight, like, that's almost the Khabib Conor thing for me, too. It just doesn't make sense.
But not to be this sexist fuck, but let's think about how good the women really are, because they go in there and brawl. I'm not debating that.
Well, especially at that weight class, too. That's a brand new weight class.
Don't get me wrong.
So the people she's facing are not amazing.
She dominates. But let's remember that Ronda Rousey once dominated, too, to where we thought no one could touch her and...
Right, but where we're at in the sport right now, to dominate now means something completely different to dominate than when Rousey did.
It does, but my whole point is wrapped around there's a lot better guys in divisions than there are women. Like, there's probably, like, 3 really good chicks, like, and the rest are probably just...
Well, the 135 division's good, and that's Nunes. So Nunes is unquestioned. I agree that the 125 division that Valentina is the champ of is not a super deep, talented division right now.
Well,
but it's brand new. So we got to give it some time to grow. Let the 115ers come up. She murked Joanna.
But think of how many divisions...
Joanna came
think
up.
of how many weight classes there are in men's, though, compared to the women's.
Right.
That has something to do with it, too.
Well, wouldn't that make it more top-heavy because there's less classes for the women?
No, because there's a lot more guys to choose from. So it's like it's a lot harder for certain guys.
Yeah, but there's way more weight classes. Like, you got all these women in the world trying to fit into 4 weight classes.
Yeah. Like, there's maybe, like, some 150-pound women.
You would think that would make it more talented, though.
No.
As opposed to the several weight classes that anybody can, like, try to get into.
Because what are the 2 weight classes?
There's 4, 115, 125, 135, 145.
And how many are there for men?
125, 135, 145, 155, 170, 185, 205 heavyweight, 8.
Compared to the 4. So we, like, in
there's
theory,
a lot more guys on the roster, too.
Well, in theory, you would think, okay, well, 4 would allow it to be more top-heavy, but at the same time, whenever you go above 145, I'm sure there's some women that just hit hard as hell up there. And, like, I don't know.
Right, like you're not at 160.
Yeah, and, like, who's to say, like, I mean, that chick at 160 probably could be way more dominant because she could just have serious knockout power. Like, I don't know.
It's just, the women's MMA scene is constantly evolving at this point. I bet in a couple years' time you will see more weight classes.
And it's not to say that Shevchenko is not, like, a world-class fighter, but it's...
You can't take that from who she's fighting and tell that, but I'm telling you, dude, she's a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
She's doing what she can with what's thrown out at her. She can't control that there's, like...
She's the only one that Amanda Nunes' name is tied to that you don't think Mert Destruction Dumpster.
Right.
The last fight she had with Nunes, split decision L. Went the distance. She's won the distance with Nunes twice. Nunes has finished everybody else. And that's her fighting up out of her natural weight class.
And Nunes.
I'm happy. I hope the woman it gets deeper, and that Valentina can show her worth. Like, give her a top opponent. It'll make her look even better.
Yeah.
She murked Joanna, dude, and Joanna was huge for 115 always. Like, that's a good measuring stick for me. The fact that she murked Joanna, and then the top contender, that is one of the most highlight reel knockouts you'll ever see.
That was completely filthy.
Have you seen a better head kick knockout?
No. And I've always said, since we've mentioned that, is the only one I can think of is Gabriel Gonzaga over Mirko Cro Cop. And the only reason is because of how Cro Cop fell is the only reason we say that.
Oh, because Cro Cop's in a different dimension after he gets kicked. But
right.
No, it's the cleanest head kick knockout I've ever seen in my life. She just walks in from so far away. And then I think that's it too. She throws the kick from literally so far away. And the other bitch is thinking, like, I'm not getting hit by that, and then somehow gets nuked by it. Right. And I've never seen somebody knocked out for as long either. She was knocked out for minutes, dude. Not moving on the ground for minutes.
Are you about good on everything?
We didn't touch on WWE Mount Rushmore.
Can we save that for the next one?
Which is the whole reason. That's the whole reason I wanted to do the podcast.
Can we just list it off rather than go deep into it? We're just an hour and 12 in.
Fuck it.
So my 4 is The Rock, Stone Cold, Taker, and Triple H. And I'm with you on Ric Flair is in there, but my thing is, like, from what I watched, and the thing is, like, I know how great Ric Flair was at the time and, like, his gimmick, but I just saw Triple H do his thing, so that's why I'm rolling with Triple H.
Alright, first thing to get out of the way, and this isn't to roast you either, but in no world is Triple H on the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Just in no world. But there are other, like, people I like right outside of it that's named are not Triple H.
So you're going to even say that he's not even considered in the honorable mention?
Barely top 10. Barely.
No, come on.
It might not even be. You're overlooking some of the really old school greats like Bruno Sammartino, Andre the Giant, Roddy Piper, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat. You're those guys. Triple H isn't touch those guys, and we're talking about Mount Rushmore, bro. So
no.
Okay, but all I'm saying, so my Mount Rushmore would be Hogan, Rock, Stone Cold, Ric Flair.
So whenever you're putting your Mount Rushmore
Hogan, as much as I hate to say Hogan, you just have to say Hogan.
Because you can't tell the story of wrestling without Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, we wouldn't be talking about wrestling if not for Hulk Hogan.
And I'm with that.
Popular.
I'm with that. So, like, and whenever you put it like that, I can see putting Hogan there. But, like...
I hate putting Hogan there, because I hate Hogan. But it's just... You have to put him there. And then I would love to put Taker up there, but... And from a wrestling business industry, he is Mount Rushmore. He is the whole thing. It's by himself. But from, like, the mainstream audience, Stone Cold, Rock, Hogan.
Ric Flair?
I don't know.
Or Shawn Michaels?
I think, no. If we're talking about mainstream, 100% it's Rick versus Undertaker, even more than Shawn Michaels. People know Shawn Michaels, but you have had to watch wrestling at some point to know Shawn Michaels. And Shawn Michaels is probably the best of them. And that's where I think, like, Randy Savage, Shawn Michaels, and Kurt Angle are right on that, like, cusp of being considered for that. Just in-ring talent and skill, but not the mainstream crossover of the other guys.
Do you remember when Brock Lesnar did his gainer off the top rope at WrestleMania?
Shooting star press failed, landed right on his head. That was supposed to be the finish to the match, but he failed it, so he just hit him with a third F5.
You know, the more I'm thinking about it, when we talk Mount Rushmore, are we meaning the guys you can't tell wrestling without, just like the guys that, like,
just
are
the
wrestling?
Four names that come to mind when you think of pro wrestling. And that's what I'm saying is the four names that come to mind when you think of pro wrestling, there is no way in fucking hell you can have Triple H in there.
Whenever you think of the names that come to wrestling, no.
Like right now?
No, I'm saying of all time, okay. No, I agree with that.
Stone Cold and Ric Flair. Literally, I swear, that's literally all I think, like those guys. And I think Rock is the least deserving wrestling business guys. So to take anybody out, I would take The Rock out, which is probably blasphemy, but like The Rock's my fourth. Like if I ranked them, I would say Stone Cold number 1, Hulk number 2, Ric Flair number 3, and then The Rock.
You can't tell the story of wrestling without Flair or Hogan. I agree with that. But from what I saw...
Well, you got to at least have one of them in there. Jesus Christ, you don't have either of them.
And if I were to have one or the other, it'd obviously be the Nature Boy.
So you take Rick?
Over Hogan, yeah. I just don't like Hogan at all.
Like I said on Twitter, put Rick in, take Triple H out. And your list is valid. And I love your list because I hate Hogan.
No, I'm with that.
Like, I can get behind Taker over Hogan.
I'm with that. Everyone thinks of Undertaker too. Like his gimmick, he was an
actual wrestling fan, yeah, and that's where I'm saying the difference is too. Like,
but like if I went up and asked my grandma, about wrestling, she would say Ric Flair.
And that's what I'm saying. She wouldn't say the Undertaker.
No, I would have.
Even though everybody knows who the Undertaker is.
And she may get out Hulk Hogan. But she's obviously like, getting Nature Boy out.
Taker is like the number 1 ranked, pure respected guy, like in the industry. So like he is on every wrestler's Mount Rushmore, but as a fan, when we're talking about mainstream, if you want to talk about workers, we have a completely different list.
See, I was putting
Shawn
my
Michaels,
list.
Kurt Angle, Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat. That's kind of the list we're working with, not the people we're talking about.
See, I was more so putting it as in like champions, like credentials.
The greatest champions ever.
Yeah, like
Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, The Rock.
But I was just putting
John Cena.
Yeah.
I said out of our like current era, like, really John's the only one that has. Like, think who's the next? Like Randy Orton and Edge. Nobody considers those guys.
And maybe Brock Lesnar.
No.
No, I'm saying as far as championships, but he's done more so holding it rather than winning it.
Brock was an impressive impressive athlete talent, but nobody can in the business.
No, I'm not saying nobody considers that, but we were just talking about championships.
And he's done nothing to bring, he's a horrible champion, is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, I'm with that.
Championship means nothing on Brock Lesnar.
No,
and it always has.
I'm completely with that. It's just he's 300 pounds and 6'6" and moves really fast.
Right, like Triple H. That's what I'm saying. Those guys are great, but we're talking about the greatest. Talking about Andre the Giant. I was saying that. Andre the Giant didn't even come up.
No.
And I think no, too, but, he's before Triple H.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all I got for that as far as insight. Who was your favorite tag team?
Kane and Rob Van Dam. Because that's when I started watching wrestling.
Kane and RVD.
2002, 2003, Kane and RVD. Best tag team I ever fucking saw. And that's the thing. That I actually love that I said that because I didn't pick one of the conventional tag teams to sound like a mark. I literally just fucking Kane and Rob Van Dam. Best tag team ever.
Wow. That one's really tough
Mass
to beat.
Kane.
Right.
Mass Kane, just for reference. Badass Kane at that time.
As far as tag teams,
multiple-time tag team champions.
I like to think of,
the Dudleys, the Hardys, Edge and Christian.
For the tag team, you gotta have, some guys that are actually good. You can't just have some guys that gimmick together. And that was what was so good about RVD and Kane is, they actually made that a segment with tag teams.
They were both super underappreciated talents their entire career. Both of them.
More so.
Kane and RVD.
More so RVD.
Yeah, RVD should have been multiple-time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
Multiple-time WWE champion. It's unfortunate how they played my man Rob because he liked to smoke weed early 2000s and everybody was hating on him.
Poor guy was just injecting too many marijuanas in his ass.
Well, and they made that his gimmick, right? He was the dumb stoner. He couldn't just be a normal guy, and that's what he always thought. He hated that. They made him the dumb, cool, surfer stoner guy.
This dude that lived in Cali, yeah.
Yeah, the shit that he would say, they just...
Because I am RVD.
But that's the thing. You can make him say whatever you want him to say, but, once he gets in the ring, he's disgusting.
Correct.
And there were so many times in 2001, 2002, where he should have gone over Stone Cold, Triple H, The Rock for the strap and was in the match for it, and they just wouldn't pull the trigger. And when they finally did, and he beat John Cena at ECW One Night Stands, he got pulled over with Sabu less than a month later with drugs, and then they suspended him and took the belt off him.
That's what that was?
Rob Van Dam, the WWE champion, got pulled over with drugs.
I had no idea about that.
Marijuanas, pills, all that good stuff.
You love to see it.
That's who he is. Nowadays, I feel like it's a different world now, but now you would just spin that and be like, yeah, that's our WWE champion. Guy didn't give a fuck.
Maybe not to that extent.
Back then, it was seen as this guy likes to murder women. That's what it was. It is what it is.
A bit excessive.
But that's the thing, too. Rob Van Dam was before his time. They didn't know how to deal with somebody like that. He was a different character.
I'm good on the WWE talk.
No, I just appreciate that you said that he should have got the strap, because I've always said that. As a kid, I was always heartbroken that Rob Van Dam could win a world championship, bro.
Dude was mad talented.
I didn't understand. I was like, yeah, I know he can win the Intercontinental Championship. Why can't he win the goddamn world championship, bro? Because as a kid, I didn't understand that you got to be goddamn 6'7", 300 pounds to win it. I didn't get that.
Oh, you got to be a brute.
And I don't think I was always attracted to the people that could move around too, like Shelton Benjamin, RVD, Shawn Michaels, obviously. Rey Mysterio. It's just like I always like those guys. I thought those guys were more impressive.
But yeah, like I said, I'm good on the chat.
Are you good on it?
Yeah, I thought we covered a lot.
I feel like we didn't really cover NFL. We kind of just...
Not a lot to talk about in NFL. Not a lot happened.